So, if you've been on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, or the wonderful world of video and memes that some people know as YouTube, chances are you've seen this adorable family of dogs along with the Disney Junior logo. But how could you not have seen them? The show, titled Bluey, that premiered in 2019, has grown from one of the many preschooler shows that teachers and babysitters put on in the background to keep the kids quiet to the biggest family show phenomenon since Sesame Street. But how did it reach this status, and what can future show producers, let alone preschool show producers, take from it to continue to appeal to their target audience and then some? Well, there's a bit of a hierarchy to going from preschool background noise to phenomenon, a ladder, so to speak, that a show would have to climb to go from simply appealing to preschoolers to appealing to everyone and their nanny. And Bluey, while it could have easily just given up at the first step, has managed to reach the top of this ladder like no other Disney Junior or Nick Jr. or PBS Kids show I've seen in this millennium, except maybe Dora, but I'm pretty sure that was ironic. The first step is, obviously, appealing to their target audience. As much as we don't like to admit it sometimes, it really doesn't take that much to grab the attention of children under the age of 5. At least that's the only reason I can think of as to why something like Teletubbies has lasted as long as it has. Just some bouncing, colorful imagery, some nice music, and maybe on occasion a slightly engaging scenario, but even that apparently hasn't been necessary. Bluey, however, seems interested in something greater than that. By providing colorful animation, soft music, and riveting scenarios, it holds the attention of toddlers, but also has the goal of, pause for suspense, ensuring that the kids grow and develop. And it understands that kids grow and develop through those riveting, engaging, but also relatable scenarios. In this case, a series of games that Bluey makes up that her sister, Bingo, and her parents, Bandit and Chili, participate in as well. The producers understand that just like how adults grow and develop through their everyday experiences, kids grow and develop through their recreation of those same everyday experiences. Visits to the doctor, taxi cab rides, or even just being parents. Heck, in some episodes, the kids are faced with real-life scenarios where they also grow and develop. One of my favorites being where Bluey goes to the movies for the first time despite how sensitive she is, and her sensitivity ends up being her greatest advantage as she connects with the main character and, as she does through several other episodes, learns more about herself than she ever expected.
Look, it's just monkeys singing songs, mate. Don't think too hard about it.
Rather than simply creating an environment that kids can watch and using that environment to check off the "I taught these kids letters and numbers today" box, Bluey chooses to take the audience on an adventure, pretend or otherwise, but always exciting, where they learn more emotionally valuable lessons like how to compromise with those that you love or how to be brave and strong in the face of adversity. It's the first toddler show that I can think of to have this sort of appeal since the original version of Arthur 30 years ago. So because the show goes above and beyond appealing to toddlers and the show ends up holding a more special place in their hearts, the first thing they do, of course, is beg their parents to watch it with them. And that, when you get down to it, turns out to be the word of mouth that helps the show expand beyond its audience. As it turns out, not only are there several episodes in particular that are just as much for the parents as they are for the kids, there's a few episodes that I would argue are even more so for the parents. When I started watching the show, which I'll get to how that kicked off in a little bit, the first thing I caught on to is these parents are amazing. It's one thing for parents to begrudgingly get involved with their children's games, but these parents are so wrapped up in Bluey's games you'd swear they thought they were all real. The father, Bandit in particular, has role commitment that surpasses that of a Disneyland character actor. And anytime it looks like they're about to drop out a character, they jump right back in because they know these games are the most important thing in the world to these kids. But on the real side of things, the parents in the show don't try to be the perfect role model for them either and teach the kids that it's okay to not be perfect as long as you learn from it the next day. As a result of being just as much a phenomenon with parents as it is with their kids, parents, much like the toddlers that reached out to them, started raving about the show on their social media, which is how I, a 30-year-old childless adult, first started hearing about it. As I'm sure many of the other childless adults you've heard talking about this show discovered it as well. But how did the show appeal to me when I'm neither a toddler nor a parent? Well, apart from being a gorgeous piece of animation backed up by some phenomenal background music, apart from having genuine, fleshed out characters right down to the kids on the show feeling like the most real kids we've seen in children's media in a long time, apart from being hilarious when it wants to be funny and shockingly deep when it wants to be dramatic, and apart from, again, having the quintessential family, not too Full House-ish, but cooperative and willing to compromise with each other, by showing the themes of growth and development from both perspectives of a child and an adult, the show makes the theme of growth and development universal. It shows that no one ever stops growing and that adults can learn from children just as much as children can learn from adults. Heck, there's an episode where Bluey teaches her Nana a dance that she's never done before right after Bluey learns from her parents that her relationship with her sister is more important than being right. And by having that soft, humble style of a toddler show, it manages to share that lesson in a humble, respectable manner that brings the adults down to the children's level just as much as raising the children to the adults level, rather than talking down to whoever is watching and treating them like lesser minds. Hence why so many adults, and children I guarantee you, roll their eyes at something like Dinosaur Train or Super Y. To sum up, by hooking viewers in with its humble style and giving everyone something to take away from the experience, Bluey managed to go above and beyond in appealing to its target audience, causing parents to get wrapped up in it just as much as them, and then stirring the curiosity of viewers outside of its demographic and capturing the hearts of people the producers wouldn't have thought would be into the show either. And that's why Bluey ended up trending as much as it has.